Your brain is lying to you right now. Not about something small, about something you trust with your life every single day. And the strange part, it's been doing this since the moment you learned to drive. And you never noticed. Picture this. You're behind the wheel, cruising down a familiar road, coffee in the cup holder, music playing low. You arrive at your destination and suddenly realize you don't remember the last 10 minutes. Not a single turn, not a single light, nothing. That should terrify you. A two-ton machine moving at 60 miles an hour, and the person controlling it wasn't even mentally present. But here's the twist. You were never actually gone. Your brain was driving the entire time. You just weren't invited to watch. This phenomenon has a name, highway hypnosis, and it's only the first crack in a much bigger, much stranger story about what's really happening inside your skull every time you turn that key. Let's start with the obvious stuff, the things you'd expect. Your brain is juggling an insane amount of information. Speed, distance, other vehicles, pedestrians, traffic signals, weather, road texture. All of it processed in real time without you consciously calculating a single variable. No math, no checklist, just instinct. Sounds impressive, right? It is. But here's where things get weird. Your brain didn't evolve for this, not even close. For most of human history, the fastest thing our ancestors ever had to react to was a running animal, maybe 30 miles an hour, tops. Now you're strapping yourself into a machine that can hit triple digits and asking a brain built for spears and campfires to process it like it's second nature. So how does it manage? Simple. It cheats. Your brain builds a shortcut. Neuroscientists call it automaticity. Basically, once a task becomes familiar enough, your brain hands it off to a lower, faster processing system, freeing up your conscious mind for other things. Daydreaming, planning dinner, replaying an argument from 3 days ago that you definitely should have won. That's why experienced drivers can hold a full conversation, adjust the radio, and merge onto a freeway, all without thinking about driving at all. Efficient? Absolutely. Safe? That's where it gets complicated. Because automaticity is a double-edged sword. The same system that lets you drive without conscious effort is the same system that makes you miss a red light you've technically seen 100 times. Your eyes register it. Your brain, running on autopilot, doesn't always bother alerting the rest of you. And that's not even the strangest part. Here's the part nobody talks about. Your brain is also predicting the future, constantly. Every second you're driving, your mind isn't just reacting to what's happening. It's simulating what's about to happen. It guesses where that car 3 lanes over might drift. It predicts whether the pedestrian on the curb is about to step out. It's running thousands of tiny probability calculations, and you never even know it's happening. This is called predictive processing, and some scientists believe it's the closest thing your brain has to time travel. It's not seeing the road as it is. It's seeing the road as it expects it to be, a fraction of a second into the future. Which is incredible until reality doesn't match the prediction. That's when accidents happen. Not because people are careless, but because the gap between what the brain expected and what actually occurred was too big to close in time. But we're only getting started. Because your brain isn't just predicting the road, it's quietly rewriting your sense of time. Ever notice how the drive there feels longer than the drive back, even on the exact same route? That's not a coincidence. Psychologists call it the return trip effect. On unfamiliar roads, your brain works overtime, cataloging every landmark, every turn, building a mental map from scratch. That intense effort makes time feel stretched out. But on the way home, your brain already has the map. It relaxes. Time compresses. Same distance, same speed, completely different experience, because your perception of time was never really about the clock. It was about how hard your brain was working. Now here's where the story shifts from fascinating to a little unsettling. Multitasking. You've probably heard that driving while texting is dangerous. But the truth is worse than that. Your brain doesn't actually multitask. Not really. What it does is rapidly switch between tasks like a juggler tossing balls between 2 hands instead of holding both at once. Every switch has a cost, a tiny delay, a flicker of lost awareness. At 60 miles per hour, A 2-second glance at your phone means you just drove the length of a football field essentially blind. Your brain didn't stop working. It just stopped watching the road, convinced it could handle both. That confidence? It's called inattentional blindness, and it's one of the most dangerous illusions the human mind produces. You can be staring directly at something, a stop sign, a cyclist, a child chasing a ball, and completely fail to consciously register it because your attention was allocated somewhere else. Your eyes saw it, your brain didn't. And because, of course, someone would monetize it, car companies have spent billions trying to fix this exact flaw, building semi-autonomous systems designed to catch what human attention misses. Which sounds great. Until Monday arrives, and studies start showing that some drivers, trusting these systems, become even less attentive, not more. The tool built to protect us from our own blind spots accidentally teaches us to trust our blind spots even further. So let's zoom out. What does all of this actually reveal about being human? It shows something profound. Your conscious mind, the you, that feels like it's making decisions, isn't actually running the show as much as you think. Driving proves it in the most literal way possible. The decisions, the predictions, the reflexes, most of it happens below awareness, in systems you don't control and rarely even notice. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If your brain can drive a car without you being consciously present, how much of your entire life is being lived the same way, on autopilot, reacting to the world through prediction and habit, while the version of you that feels in charge is mostly just watching the replay? And here's the twist that changes everything. Some researchers believe driving isn't just a task your brain performs, it's a window into the illusion of free will itself. That feeling of consciously deciding to brake, to turn, to speed up. Some studies suggest your brain often initiates the action before you're even consciously aware you decided to do it. Milliseconds before. A gap so small you'd never notice unless you were looking for it. Which means every drive you've ever taken might be less you controlling a machine, and more a machine catching up to explain decisions it already made. That's not science fiction. That's neuroscience happening in your skull right now, every single time you turn that key. So the next time you arrive somewhere and realize you don't remember the drive, don't be alarmed. Be amazed. Somewhere between the driveway and the destination, a version of you that runs faster than conscious thought took the wheel, calculated 1,000 possibilities, predicted a future that hadn't happened yet, and delivered you safely to where you needed to be. You just weren't invited to watch. So maybe the real question isn't whether your brain is in control while you drive, it's how much of your life is being driven the exact same way.